Do you want to know what is one of the biggest problems or sources of conflict in marriages today? What is one of those things that when people are struggling in their marriage, struggling in their relationship, people say, this is a cause, this is a reason, this is why we're fighting, this is what things that we're arguing about. These are things where we just can't get along. It's money. It's how people are handling their money or managing their money. You know, there are reasons why there's conflict in marriage, and sometimes it involves in-laws and different things. But the biggest problem, the number one problem in marital conflict is money and how people deal with their money and manage their money. I want to teach a course of lessons, a series of lessons about financial management God's way, beginning in February of 2021. I want to encourage married couples. I want to encourage Christians, singles, married people, everyone, teenagers, older people, to watch this course. Because I believe that we'll learn many biblical truths and principles that will help you to better manage your money. You know, managing your money properly and learning to manage it God's way can actually help your marriage. It can strengthen young people and set them up for the future to know how to wisely handle things. It can teach them things about budgeting and saving. It can help us to learn things about properly investing. It can help us to make sure we've got the right priorities in life. There is so much that we can learn from the Bible about money. People will be surprised at how much God's Word actually has to say about handling money. And I believe that you'll learn many things. I'm thankful that people invested in my life. I'm thankful for at times pastors and others that have taught me lessons about handling money. And that's helped in my life immensely. That today I'm 45 years old and I'm in a pretty stable position financially. My family's taken care of. I am able to freely invest in the work of the Lord because I don't have big debt problems and debt concerns. I don't have credit card bills and things that I can't pay. God has helped me in my life and blessed me, but I believe in big part it's because I've learned to practice some biblical financial principles for saving and budgeting and investing and contentment and so on. And I'm just so grateful for that. So beginning in February, I'm going to be teaching a course of lessons called Financial Management God's Way. These courses were put together by a man named Tom Copland. I've never met the man, but I believe that he's a sincere and godly and wise Christian man. He's an accountant in the city of Markham, just outside Toronto, and he has now teaches sessions sometimes in churches. He's prepared many videos. He's got a great website, couple websites in fact, that show his videos and his financial moments. Some little clips that he does, 1-minute clips, are now airing on radio stations. For those that have maybe heard of Dave Ramsey and Financial Peace University, I would say that Tom Copland is perhaps a little bit like a Canadian version of Dave Ramsey, in that he's a man with very sound biblical advice for how to manage money, how to handle money. And I just think we'll benefit greatly from this study of lessons called Financial Management God's Way. I want to encourage you to participate with us in the month of February. If you want to participate with us in this biblical financial study about financial management God's way, I really want to encourage you to buy the Participants Workbook. I believe you'll get a whole lot more out of this series of lessons if you'll put more of yourself into it. And making the investment in purchasing the workbook and then committing yourself to watching the weekly lessons and so on will be a great help to you. Now, there's more to it than that. There are some case studies that are involved with each lesson in the series. And those are things that I would encourage you to be reading and thinking about and even searching the scriptures about from week to week. And you could do that ahead of time before I even teach the lessons. You could be looking at those case studies that give some real life scenarios. They give us situations to consider about maybe a certain family or a certain lady and what they're going through financially in their life. And then it allows us to learn some principles relating to each situation. And I think that will help every one of us on a very practical level. Now, how can you get the Participants Workbook? Well, you're going to be able to get it from Tom Copland's website called Copland Financial Ministries. So let me show you now how you can purchase the Participants Workbook for the course Financial Management God's Way. You're going to want to go on your computer and open up, whatever web browser you use, and then type in there Copland Financial Ministries. And on my computer here, you see it's already starting to come up, but we'll type that in, Copland Financial Ministries. Now you see a few things here. There is a BibleFinance.org. That is actually their old website. They have started a new website. So we'll go down here to this one and we'll click on CoplandFinancialMinistries.org. CoplandFinancialMinistries.org. And then you want to go over here to the section that says Shop. We'll click on that. You can scroll down the page a little bit. Now, as I was mentioning, there's right here, you can order a PDF copy of the workbook. That's only $14 right now. If I click on that, I could add it to the cart and go in and make the payment. $14, and then you'll be able to download a PDF copy of the workbook that you would have to print for yourself. I'll view the cart, and we can see that. So there it is, and you could check out and pay, different ways. Now let me go back to the shop again and show you the other option. I'll scroll down here. The other one that you would want to look for is, if you want to get a hard copy of the book, is Financial Management God's Way, the Participants Workbook. Not necessarily the Leader's Guide. You want the Participants Workbook. That's over here. That's currently $40 Canadian. So we'll click on that, and you can add that to the cart, view the cart, and so on. And it shows that they're charging $10 for shipping at the moment. And so that would be your way to be able to purchase this workbook, Financial Management God's Way. And let me encourage you to do that right away. We're going to begin this series of lessons at the beginning of February 2021. And so we want you to have the workbook and be able to participate with us in the case studies and have a place where you can write notes and so on as we go through the lessons together online each week. I hope this is a help to you. I want to encourage as many people as possible to participate, tell others about it, and I hope that together we can all be really helped in managing money God's way so that our lives can be better. Our lives can be more blessed. We've got to follow God's principles to have His blessings on our life. And I believe this will help you immensely in having greater peace in your life, having greater contentment in your life, having an ability to figure out how can I get out of debt and how can I do some things that I'd like to be able to do for my family, but also be able to do some things for the Lord that I'd like to do. Sometimes people can't afford to give, they think. They can't afford to do some things for the Lord's work that they would like to do because they've got so much debt problems. And it hinders them in even being able to do things for the Lord that they'd like to do. So there's so many helps to this. Please don't think I'm only going to teach this because we want you to help the church. I believe that you will be a greater help to the Lord's work if you learn biblical financial principles, but it'll also help you. It'll help your family. It'll help your marriage. It'll help you to be more stable in life and be better off in so many ways if you will just learn how to manage money God's way. So I hope that you'll purchase this workbook and plan to participate with us in a very important series of Bible studies. God bless you.